Hey, what's going on? This is Dean Rogers. Welcome back to another episode of Deals with Dean. Today we're going to talk about a juicy deal that required us to flex a little bit on the seller to keep the deal alive. Let's get into it. All right, welcome back to the channel. But before we get started, if you could please hit that subscribe button, smash the like button. It'll do a lot to help the channel, and we appreciate the support. All right, in today's episode, we had a juicy deal that went sideways. Now, this lead came from one of our TV commercials. The seller then went online and submitted their information on our website. We had a contract signed with them by that night within a couple hours, and we opened escrow the next day. We found a buyer right away and had an assignment fee of $35,000. After about 5 days in escrow, the seller received their closing package to sign and get things all done. And then they seemed to backpedal and change their mind, said they wanted to cancel escrow and they wanted to wait a little bit longer in order to sell the property. This seemed fishy to us because they were the ones that reached out to us. They were in a hurry to sell. It was a rental property that they wanted to cash out on, and they came to us, submitted their information, and wanted to sign a contract that night. So because of the situation, we made it clear to them that they actually signed a legal binding contract. We make this very clear up front, and it says it in clear, plain English on the contract. And we made it clear to them that just because they had changed their minds, they weren't going to be able to just back out. So to get things back on track, we had to flex a little bit. We let them know that the next steps for us were that we were going to contact our attorney and let them know to file a lis pendens on the property. Now, a lis pendens is filed by an attorney. They have to go through the court system, file a judgment on the sellers themselves, and the lis pendens is a lien placed on the property that prevents the property from selling. It's there in place, and the court will approve it upon seeing a legal binding contract, which of course we had. So the seller told us that they were going to go ahead and reach out to their attorney, which they did. They made contact with them, and the end result of that was their attorney said, we were right. We did have a legal binding contract, and it was in their best interest to go ahead and proceed forward with the sale, which was their initial intention in the first place. Quickly after, the seller had changed their attitude. Everything was back on track. They signed their closing documents. Our buyer was already ready on the sidelines, signed the deal, and escrow close. This turned into a $35,000 profit deal for us. That is really a solid deal. Now, if this was a smaller deal, let's say around $5,000, probably wouldn't be worth us to go through the hassle and headache of going forward with a lis pendens. A lis pendens, again, is something that you would go through an attorney with, and the cost to do so, depending on your area, is probably going to be anywhere from $1,500 to $2,500. For us, we have filed lis pendens in the past, and it cost us around $1,800. So in this case, if it was only a $5,000 profit deal, it probably wouldn't be very worth the headache and the time and the effort, because the net of the deal would be a couple $1,000s worth of profit. In this case, it was a $35,000 deal, which was more than worth the effort and a little bit of headache to go through putting a lis pendens on the property if we needed to. In this case, again, we didn't have to. We took quick action to let them know what our intention was if they didn't get on board with us and follow through with the sale. And they quickly changed their mind, especially after speaking to their attorney, which advised them to move forward. The lesson here is making sure that you understand the verbiage in your contract and what leverage you have accordingly. You want to have a strong contract that gives you the flexibility to make an offer and know with confidence that you're going to be able to put a good deal together. And if for some reason through your due diligence process you find something that doesn't make the numbers work anymore, you have that ability through an inspection period or some other contingency to allow yourself to back out of the contract due to your due diligence and what you found. In this case, we were all systems go, wanting to close as soon as possible, and it was the language regarding the legal binding contract that gave us the strength and power to flex on the seller and say, hey, if you're not going to play ball with us, we're going to go ahead and take next actions. So I hope this video was helpful and gives you the confidence to know that if you get in a situation just like this, you can go ahead and let them know what ability you do have to keep the deal on track and a little bit of leverage that you have. So hope this was helpful. Stay tuned for the next one. Catch you on the next one. Peace.